Night of the Premier League Darts live on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Chris Dobey will take on Luke Humphries in the final. Chris Dobey will beat Gerwyn Price by 6 legs to 4 and beat Rob Cross by 6 legs to 4. For Luke Humphries, he saw Nathan Aspinall in the opener 6 legs to 2 before getting the best of Michael van Gerwen in a deciding leg. But a game really that changed in the 8th leg when Van Gerwen led 4-3 and his 7 darts at a double to go 5-3 in front. Mark Wilson with Chris Mason for the final tonight. Mace, well, prior to that 8th leg, or the final bit of that 8th leg, Michael van Gerwen was averaging 111 and playing pretty well, but the wheels fell off in that 8th leg.
Yeah, and it's become his Achilles heel the last couple of years, hasn't it? It's a familiar trait of his now that he will miss doubles, where before he was, well, almost immaculate in that department. And as I mentioned in that game against Littler, the record he had in last leg deciders was, I think it was something like 24 on the spin. It was remarkable. But he's listen, this is a massive improvement on anything we've seen in recent times by him. He's averaged nearly 103 for the night, but ultimately the 5 from 16 was his undoing in that match against Humphries. And I mean, he nearly got caught out of the match against Littler, who I mean, without stating the obvious, was the better player, but you've got to hit those doubles. You
do, and Michael van Gerwen missed them. Chris Dobey, you did his game with Rob Cross. Where would you assess that his form's been at tonight?
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't. It had spells in the game there where he took out a beautiful 170, but apart from that and the 120 that followed it, it was, for him, and it's a compliment from me, that was a pretty ordinary performance, but he's going to have to find another level. I thought in that game at times Humphries looked a little jaded, and of course he'd have been doing lots of media post winning the first, or the return of the Wimbledon World Masters, a new tournament to the PDC structure last weekend. He'd have been doing media probably on the Monday. On the Wednesday he went to Belfast. He'd been doing media all day yesterday. He'd been doing media this afternoon, and yeah, he just looked a little jaded to me.
What did you make of the Masters last week? You were there, obviously, covering it on the TV. I mean, sat at home watching it, it was brilliant. Pretty cutthroat it was.
Yeah, and that was always the beauty of the World Masters back in the day. I mean, it used to be best of 3 legs, best of 3 sets from the start to finish, and it was never seeded. So everybody would start in a great big venue in and around London. And it was always the invited players from every WDF affiliated country. So you had thousands of people there. It was, and everybody started from scratch, which makes Bob Anderson's 3 wins on the spin, 86, 87, 88, remarkable. Martin Adams did do it, but of course, then that was a seeded thing. He was already into the round of 32. So unlike Anderson, didn't start from round 2000 and something.
It was obviously a new tournament this year in terms of the way that it was done. There was qualifying for it the day before. Do you think the PDC will have learned a bit from that and maybe will look to expand and improve on that qualification process?
Yeah, well, we're constantly looking at, or they're constantly looking at other territories of where to get more players involved. I don't think they could take it any further than 16, because all the broadcasters would want to be guaranteed to have these big names on their screens. But you know, there's an opportunity to expand it, and maybe, you know, top 16 are guaranteed their place in the last 32, and they have 2 days of qualifying. Which I did the qualifiers on the PDC TV stream, which was all day Wednesday. That was fascinating. But some of the players only had to win a couple of games, and for me, that takes out the element of the World Masters and what it was back in the day. I don't think we're ever going to be in that position. I don't know. I mean, I understand it from a broadcasting point of view, but ultimately you get to create new stars, and you find new stars.
Yeah, I was maybe looking at maybe qualification, more tournaments where the winner in a far-off country, if you win your qualifier, you're straight into it.
A lot of people didn't come because they weren't guaranteed prize money.
That's what I mean. If you've already pre-qualified, if you like. Or,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, the easiest way around it would be you would send, so say you had an affiliated PDC country that they're number 1 in their rankings, gets the opportunity to come over, and their organisation paid for it, and then have a tournament where you pay 50 quid a head, the winner gets an all-expenses trip to play in the qualifier.
All expenses trip.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not paying for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'd have to probably make it £200 £200 an entry fee. But I think that would eliminate the problem of people not having the money to come. But let's get it right. The person who lost out in the final round of qualifying got £2,500. The round before that, £1,250. The round before that, I think it was £750. So there was prize money within the qualifying system. But nowadays, a flight from, I don't know, from Australia or New Zealand, you know, it's not. You can't expect people to take time off work and travel. But listen, there's scope to improve it. And the one thing the PDC do brilliantly is their evolution. Yes, they sometimes don't get things right, but what they quickly do is go, that doesn't work, we're changing.
That's more my point. It wasn't a criticism, far from it. It was, how do we make it better or make it more inclusive?
I mean, when you think what the Masters was, it was top 16, then they expanded it to 24, then they had that spell where if you won it, you got in the Premier League. And that's the thing, it's always a moving train, is the PDC. And like I said, when they do sometimes, they never get it catastrophic. It's like all the players moaning now about the European Tour. It's a closed shop. Well, the top 16 players in any sport should be rewarded, but then it's the next 16 in the rankings. So just get off your backside, work harder, get better. And then it's still 8 qualifiers. You know, in my day for the Grand Slam, everybody was allowed to enter it. Non-tour card holders, BDO players, anybody. You know, we'd have 800-900 people turn up, and there was 2 spots, and me and Kevin McDowell won them. But that was 2 spots that we weren't entitled to, you know, and I think the players have had it so easy for so long, they now feel like they're entitled. But the top 16, rightly so, they're in. That's your reward for being an elite player. And then the next 16 in the Pro Tour order of merit, so you've got the opportunities to do the business there. And then if you're not in that top 16, then you go through the qualifiers where there's 8 spots available. And I honestly don't see it from a player. The opportunities are aplenty. And you know, how did these lot get in the top 16? The top 16 changed 3 or 4 times over the weekend. Yeah,
it is. It's so tight, isn't it? It's so tight.
Like the opportunities are aplenty. Moan less, work harder. Put all the effort into having a whinge, into getting yourself better. That's what we had to try and do back in the day. And some of us made it, some of us didn't. But listen, not everybody can make it in sport.
No, and that is the ruthless nature of it. When it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. That's where NordVPN Threat Protection Pro steps up to the hockey. Think of it as your personal referee, keeping dodgy websites, malware and phishing scams from sneaking into your setup. It even blocks those pesky ads so you won't get distracted mid-leg. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the Dart Web Monitor, you get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the Madhouse. Among the fastest VPNs available on the market, NordVPN gives you a quick location change when you need it most.
I did have a practice read of that, and well,
it's your turn next week.
No, absolutely not.
Your turn next week.
It's like a tongue twister.
It is. We've thankfully got that out of the way. Thanks to everyone at NordVPN, of course.
Thank you for their
helping
support.
out with the coverage on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Thanks to everyone that's been involved tonight, whether you're commenting, having a chat between yourselves, or you might have had a wager on. There's quite a lot of people have had a wager on the darts get involved on the YouTube stream. I've noticed that.
We do a thing in the pub where I predict the first 4 games, win a free 50 quid bar tab. So if you're going to come out and watch the darts, pop in my pub and do it every week. No one's won it yet. I've not even got close.
That's because you told him it's the first to 7.
But no, we had a lot of fun last year with it. We get all the lads that, you know, they all come in and have a game of darts, and it adds a bit of fun to the night. And the one who gets close is always sure. Whatever they.
You're a very kind man. You're a very kind man. We are waiting the players out here. Matt Wilson and Chris Mason with you for the final tonight. Chris Dobey has made his way through to the final on the opening night in Belfast, and he will take on cool hand Luke Humphries.
Have you had a look at the head-to-heads, pal, on this one?
No, you can talk me through it in a moment when John McDonald's introduced the players onto the stage.
From the great city of Belfast, it's the BetMGM Premier League, and this is our Belfast final on night number 1. Time to meet the finalists. would you please to welcome Dusty, a former Masters champion, the winner of 5 PDC titles, a World Championship semi-finalist. Ladies and gentlemen, Hollywood Chris Dobey! Let's welcome back the world number 1.
You can't have PJ and Junker when your nickname's on it, surely.
The reigning world matchweight and reigning World Cup champion, the winner of 21 PDC titles, the former champion of the world, cool hand, Luke Humphries!
4 nights on from winning the Masters in Milton Keynes, Luke Humphries is looking to get another victory on his resume. This one will be week 1 of the Premier League in 2025. Not quite as illustrious as the Masters target, but he will be hoping to get a win here and get his Premier League campaign off to a flying start. Both players in just their second seasons in the Premier League, and given what Cool Hand has won, that's something of a surprise. Warm embrace between the two. These players are going to be spending a lot of time together over the next 17 weeks. It's probably better that they do enjoy each other's company, and they do. Great sportsmanship on show tonight, but small matter of £10,000 up for grabs here, and crucially more points on the Premier League table.
That's to work all night for that. You've got to play a couple of games of darts, my goodness. Now, I got to ask you a question. If you don't know it, I do apologise now, but you know, like football clubs have their own songs, don't they?
Yeah.
What's Newcastle's song that they play?
It's is it the Blade and Race? I think it's the Blade and Race.
Would that not make a good walk-on song? No?
I wonder, and I can't help but feel that's a good point. But it's a Newcastle song, and does that appeal when you're going around the country? And I think Luke Humphries has had that with the Leeds United song he comes on to.
Yes.
He'll go to certain places and they're not having it. He'll go to Manchester, he'll get hammered. So
I didn't think of that football element.
No, and I think it's a good point. I think it'd be better than the one he's got now. But in return, some people might not like it, and I don't know. I guess they want to be they want to like by everyone, don't they? That's
so they have to find a neutral song that everyone will get involved in.
Maybe get a bit of Jimmy Nail on. What do you reckon? Robson Green.
Yeah,
Is it
Jimmy
Robson
Nail.
Green?
Crocodile shoes on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what they don't like. Dobey to win this one. Well, the odds compilers they go 12-5. Dobey. It's Humphries with the throw, and he's a lively 1-3.
Well, it's Humphries with a throw, Chris, so that would weigh a little bit into that.
Absolutely, especially in this short race to 6. But when you look at their head-to-head mark, very little, isn't it? 8-7 in favour of Dobey, and they've both beat each other on big stages and big TV tournaments. And they just sort of have gone back and forth since they first played, all the way back in 2018 in a Euro Tour qualifier, which Dobey actually won 6-3.
Yeah. Well, 140 apiece to kick things off. Humphries then went trebleless and he's on 3-1-3. Dobey's down to 2-6-4, but Cool Hand is in the red bit and fires in a 140.
Every metric you sort of look at, there's sort of like a point or so in between in the terms of the 12 monthly averages. 98.4 for Humphries, 96.87 Dobey, 180s. Of course, Humphries would have played a lot more matches because he goes a lot deeper in tournaments. 647 Humphries, 492 Dobey. There's not a lot to choose between them, really.
Well, I think you made, if I'm going back to our talkSPORT coverage at the Worlds, you made a great point when we got to the semi-final, and you mentioned Dobey in this chat, and you said, look, Chris Dobey's a very good player, but you're looking at Luke Littler and Michael van Gerwen, they're elite players, and I think we put Humphries in that category now, whereby we expect probably Humphries to win this more often than not. He's on 1-2-8. He's at 2 treble 18s, double 10. Well, he's been whacking in the top plus finishes, Luke Humphries. Hit 139 in his win over Aspinall. Took out 140 and 120 against Michael van Gerwen, and now he's fired in a 1-2-8 against Dobey.
Yeah, he's certainly making the right noises right now with that start. It sort of puts down a bit of a marker, and what you've got to do with Dobey, I think, to beat him is literally put him under it and keep him under it. Easier said than done, of course.
Yeah. Dobey went through the gears in his opening game, didn't he? Upped his scoring to get a victory. Dobey on throws on 2-6-1, Humphries on 2-2-2.
Good final dart to leave the 170, which he's already achieved this evening, of course, against Rob Cross. That'd be frustrating him. He did that a bit against MVG, where he just couldn't find that one treble that would change the look of the game and the feel. He still left himself a bit to do on 89. And he will be getting a go at Sugar Ball last start.
Got there in the end, Chris. Leaves a ton. Dobey on 89, then treble 19 for double 16, single 19. So have to go 20 here. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Veers off straight. Hits the ball with the last start just to add to his annoyance.
He did it in his semi-final, chasing a treble 18 when it was to get a dart for the ball to win it, and he hit a 1. Double 10 for another ton pluser. You better believe it.
Unbelievable level of finishing from Humphries tonight. I'll make it, that's 5 ton plus outs now. He's only played 21 legs, that's 1 every 4 legs.
Yeah, that's remarkable. He opens with just 48 as Dobey looks to punish, and does, his first max of this final. As you say, it's £10,000 bonus for winning each week. Ultimately, the players just want to get points on the table and let everybody chase them down.
Well, I think what we have seen in previous years in this tournament, Chris, or this event, is that if you can get off to a good start and get those points on the board, it puts everybody else under a world of pressure.
Yeah, we've seen it the last couple of years with, and we know Peter Wright was struggling, but that was the main reason. I didn't think it was the right call last year, and it's the same reason I don't think Aspinall's the right call this year.
Yeah, well, he was beaten in round 1 tonight.
And I love Nathan. He's a good pal of mine, but I think he could have done with just getting that elbow 100% sorted, or wrist, or whatever issue he has, just so he can go forward and be at the top of his game and put the required practice in, which you're not able to do. I battled with tennis elbow for 10 years or so, and it was just horrific.
Yeah. Here we go, another.
Not again.
Couldn't get the treble 19, that would have left double 8.
Notice though, he's aware of it because he had a little smile.
Yeah, he is. Well, he must think he's hitting everything. Dobey needs 148 here. Shot is on, treble 20 hit. Ooh, deflection takes him out of the treble, so Humphries back for tops and a 3-0 lead. There you go, and it is 3-0. Making light work of it so far.
Yeah, just 46 darts to get to this point mark. 15, 15 and 16. Averaging just shy of a ton. 15 dart leg, of course, is 100.20 in terms of an average. Again, a poor start to the leg.
Yeah, he's doing enough, isn't he, at the minute? He's not really breaking sweat. Dobey's not managing to keep the pressure on him here. Dobey's got the throw here, so if he can win here, he's only a break behind, but crucially, Humphries would have the throw in the odd-numbered legs.
So the issue for Dobey is he's not getting a dart or a double. He's yet to have one in this match, and Luke is 3 from 3, and that finishing is continuing on from the rest of the MVG game, where he did miss some early doubles and then was pretty much immaculate.
Yeah, he was. He was indeed.
But Dobey's going to get a dart here, if not in this turn, and in the turn that follows.
1-2-4.
62 leaves 62. He's picked up a treble 17 after a 5. misses the treble 10, but be back for 52, and it'd have to be a disaster not to get a dart of the double at 52.
Yeah, but Humphries on 208. He's just going to casually chuck in a max just to say, hey, Chris, I'm stood right behind you, my friend.
Yeah, do not miss.
Double 16. Half an inch wide. Dobey can't believe it. And then he goes inside, and that max all of a sudden now has opened up a double break opportunity for Luke Humphries.
Yes, the only way you can really affect the player's turn is by doing exactly that, piling on the pressure, and it's worked.
Yeah, Dobey won't be happy with this display thus far.
He's averaging 96.37, but predominantly that's a scoring average because of his lack of darts at a double. And yet again, Humphries starts with a troubleless visit, 59 this time.
Yeah, that's at least the third time in this match
Yes.
he's done it, and yet he's won every leg so far.
Just sort of kind of, I'll give you a little bit of a start, make it interesting.
Well, it's a race to 6 to become the winner of the opening night of the Premier League. Glasgow next week, isn't it?
It is. It's not been a bad week for Humphries if he can convert this 4-0 win into a win of any kind, picking up the Masters and continuing where he's left off with a win on night 1.
Yeah. Nice work if you can get it, Chris.
Yes, I think it was 100,000 Sunday he added to his ever-growing bank balance.
Yeah, he's going to get that 2 million, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, if he wins the UK Open at the end of the month, that will be it.
There. Yeah, looking forward to that. That's the next major event on the calendar.
And well, he had the disappointment of being involved in that game with Dimitri last year, didn't he? Which left everybody with a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth because the gamesmanship in that was unnecessary.
Yeah, it was. Humphries on 165, not on a finish, so Dobey's got a break opportunity here, and it's got to go this 76 to get a leg on the board and a break. It's only going to be one dart at tops. Single 16 leaves tops, and Dobey misses again. 100. Is he going to go tops? No, he stays there. Treble 20 leaves double 10. It's another ton plus finish. Third in 5 legs. 5-0 Humphries leads.
Remarkable finishing. Absolutely incredible. He is now 5 from 6 on his doubles.
Well, Dobey looks like he's just found out his favourite child's a Sunderland fan. He's not happy. He'll be off to Wembley, March the 16th, to watch Newcastle take on Liverpool. He'll be live on talkSPORT, of course.
Should be a cracking fun.
It's his partner's birthday, apparently, that day.
Has he got her a ticket?
Well, he offered.
Well, good.
And he said, look, if you don't want to come, I'm going.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine him missing it. Like,
he said they haven't won something for 60-odd years. I don't care whether it's your
loads
birthday
more
or not.
birthdays.
Yeah.
140 takes him down to 220. On throw, Dobey 184. Don't want to see anybody get bageled in the Premier League.
Well, I guess if you are going to get bageled, probably the final, the
Yeah.
best place to do it. You've still got some points on the boards. Dobey needs 126. Humphries has left 120, which he'll probably get. Dobey then to stay alive needs treble 19 to leave a shot at the bull. He's got it. Bullseye for a first leg of the match. That's more like it, Chris. First leg on the board and a fist bump from Cool Hand Luke.
Well, you know what? Luke's going to say something. I'd have took that 120 out anyway, so good job. And yet again, starts a leg with a poor turn. This time 43.
We've had 6 legs of darts. We had 4 ton plus finishes.
Yep.
Crackers. No treble for Dobey. So Humphries with a throw. It's a 140 to get down to 318. Dobey on 457. Thanks everyone that's joined us tonight. Please like and subscribe on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel.
Yeah, lots of people enjoying the coverage. I've been inundated with messages on Facebook. People in work or able to watch the coverage.
Over here all the way through.
It's the next best thing if you're not there, isn't it?
Exactly. Dobey on 179. Humphries on 222. Saves his visit with a last start treble 19. He's down to 140.
Which way he's going to take it out? Treble 20 tops if you don't like the line. Not about it. Not if he gets it. It's which way he's going to go.
Well, if he gets this will be ridiculous. Shots on. Another one of those. Not quite.
I'm not sure whether, although he does have an uncanny ability of sort of almost bending the dart around what looks like a blocker. There's lots of room to the left, doesn't find it. Humphries will be back for a very routine 6-1.
Yep, it will be. Tops he needs for 6-1 to win the opening night of the Premier League. And Luke Humphries tied his things up nicely enough. Impressive on the outer ring tonight. Dobey will be disappointed with the performance in the final itself, but he'll be pleased to get some points on the board. Luke Humphries is delighted now. It'll be a long old week for him, getting to the final and winning the Masters in an absolute thriller. A little bit more routine for him tonight. Did have to overcome a last leg shootout with Michael van Gerwen en route, but it's Cool Hand Luke who is our opening night winner and the man who sits at the top of the world rankings. He's looking for a first Premier League crown, and he has got his campaign off to a flying start. 95.86, the highlight I think for Humphries tonight. The plethora of ton plus finishes, 86% on the doubles in the final itself. Dobey only got 4 cracks at a double, taking out just the one. Humphries has beaten Dobey 6 legs to 1. It's a marathon, Chris. There are 16 more weeks to go if you're going to win the Premier League. However, Humphries has got off to the perfect start.
Yeah, and the players that are going to be involved in the Pro Tours and European Tours, it's all about managing your time. And listen, they're playing for a serious amount of money in this Premier League. It's not necessarily the ranking money, this one, of course, because it doesn't go towards it. But it's the prestige and the financial rewards. And it wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of these players giving the Pro Tours a bit of a miss. They may playing enough to guarantee their place in the Players' Championship finals at the end of the year, where, listen, it's the top 64 and they'll just turn up, win one and go, right, that's it, happy days. And they will have to manage their time because, like you say, this is very much a marathon, and it does take it out of the players. Having been in and around them after sort of 12 weeks of it, you can certainly tell the difference.
Yeah, just to tidy up what we've seen tonight, Chris Dobey beat Gerwyn Price in the opening round. Rob Cross saw Stephen Bunting. Michael van Gerwen beat Luke Littler. And in our final game, Luke Humphries beat Nathan Aspinall. Then in the semi-finals, Dobey beat Rob Cross 6 legs to 4. Humphries beat Michael van Gerwen 6 legs to 5 before Humphries prevailed by 6 legs to 1. We should give a mention to Luke Littler. Might not have got a point on the ball, but did average a mere 113.91 in defeat, the second highest average ever in a losing Premier League effort. So he might not have won tonight, but he's still in decent form.
Yeah, listen, like I say, the last 4 games he's lost this year so far, 105, 107, 108.5 and nearly 113. I don't think there's too much to worry about. People are just playing out of their skin to get the better of him at the moment, but once we go into longer course starts, of course, those kind of averages will be winning averages.
They will indeed. Chris, you back next week?
I am.
Yeah, Dance will be back with you. Thanks to Laura, who made talkSPORT debut tonight. Great to have her along. I'm sure we'll have her along when she's not needed on the TV as well. Thanks to you for joining us. Remember to like and subscribe the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Plenty of content to come. We're with you each and every week of the Premier League, so spread the word. Like and subscribe if you would. Our thanks to Chris, producer Matt, and Laura tonight. Most of all, thanks to you for watching and listening along. Well done to Luke Humphries. He's a Premier League winner in week 1. He's won at the SSE Arena in Belfast. He beat Chris Dobey by 6 legs to 1.